My point is, you're working for a news organization. If they're lying about a comedian taking horse medication, what are they telling us about Russia? Bro, do I have to sue CNN?
I don't know, do you?
They're making shit up. They keep saying I'm taking horse dewormer. I literally got it from a doctor.
Joe Rogan just exposed CNN in the most savage way possible. And he did it with their own doctor sitting right in front of him.
Not a flattering thing, I get that.
It's a lie. It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a willing... That's a lie that they're conscious of.
What started as a casual podcast with their top medical guy, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, turned into a full-blown takedown the moment Rogan brought up their biggest lie.
They said, you are not a horse, you are not a cow, stop taking this stuff, or something like that.
Why would you say that?
And when Gupta awkwardly admitted they did lie about him taking horse dewormer, that's when everything unraveled. Live, on air, with millions watching.
So why, if I've already gotten through COVID and I was really only sick for a day, and then 5 days later I was negative?
So, here's where everything blew up. Joe Rogan got COVID, right? And like any reasonable person, he followed his doctor's advice. A full treatment plan that included ivermectin. Not some sketchy back alley version, but the actual FDA-approved human medication that's been prescribed for decades. You know, the one that won a Nobel Prize?
I'm getting vaccinated on top of that.
By the way, I'm glad you're better. I'm glad it only lasted a day.
You're probably the only one at CNN that's glad.
No. We're not.
The rest of them are all lying about me taking horse medication. And we should talk about that.
That bothered you.
But CNN didn't care about the truth. They saw an opening to take a shot at him. Instead of reporting that he took a human drug under medical supervision, they ran with this smug, snarky spin. Joe Rogan's taking horse dewormer, like he was out in a barn chewing hay. They deliberately framed it that way because calling him reckless was easier than admitting he might have done something smart. Because if ivermectin worked for Rogan, what else might the media have gotten wrong? Exactly. And that's why they buried it under a punchline.
Turns out I got COVID. Look, they put a yellow filter on me too.
The kitchen sink out all kinds of meds. Monoclonal,
you see the original video versus that? I look like shit there.
Z-Pack.
Do you know that?
I think you look good.
Pause. It's enough.
Prednisone.
That's enough.
And here's where things really started to unravel, because Rogan didn't just call out CNN behind a mic. He looked their top medical expert in the eye and said it to his face. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, CNN's go-to science guy, appeared on Rogan's podcast, probably thinking it'd be a friendly chat. But Rogan wasn't there to swap stories. He was there to demand answers. With no script, no teleprompter, and no commercial break to hide behind. Rogan hit him with the question that stopped everything cold. Does it bother you that your network outright lied about me taking horse dewormer? And you could see it. Gupta's smile faded. The confidence dropped. All he could say was, they shouldn't have said that. That one sentence did more damage than any headline ever could. Because at that moment, CNN's whole narrative collapsed from inside their own house.
My point is, you're working for a news organization. If they're lying about a comedian taking horse medication, what are they telling us about Russia? What are they telling us about Syria? Do you understand that that's why people get concerned about the veracity of the news?
And Rogan didn't let up. He kept going. If CNN was willing to lie about something this basic, a doctor-prescribed medication, then what else have they distorted? What else have they spun? Russia? Syria? That's when Gupta tried to shift gears, make jokes, change the subject. But Rogan wasn't buying it, and neither was anyone watching, because this wasn't just a podcast episode anymore. It was a reckoning, and Rogan was holding the media's feet to the fire.
This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
I don't think anyone is
But don't you think that a lie like that is dangerous on a news network when you know that they know they're lying? You know that they know that I took medicine, like here it is. This is ivermectin.
You got
this
it with
right
you.
here. Somebody gave it to me.
Here's where Rogan really flipped the table, because he wasn't just calling out a single lie. He was calling out the entire game. If CNN knowingly twisted the truth about ivermectin, something that's publicly documented, prescribed by doctors and easy to verify, then what does that say about everything else they report? This wasn't some innocent mix-up. This was a deliberate smear. And Gupta, sitting right there, had no defense. Because he knew. Everyone watching knew. CNN didn't report a mistake. They pushed a headline they thought would hurt Rogan because he had been hammering their credibility for months. And when he caught them in the act, they had no exit plan. That's why this moment hit so hard. It wasn't about COVID anymore. It was about trust. and how fast it collapses when the people shouting, "Trust the science," get caught lying on purpose.
News network you work for out and out lied, just outright lied about me taking horse dewormer.
They shouldn't have said that.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
You didn't ask? You didn't think that was you're the medical guy over there.
I didn't ask. I should have asked before
But they
coming
did
on
it
your
with
podcast.
such glee.
No,
Yes,
Joe.
they did. I watched.
You watched?
I watched.
You watched.
Now let's talk about why CNN pushed that narrative in the first place. Because it wasn't about public health. It was politics. Plain and simple. The moment Rogan's name got mentioned alongside ivermectin, the media didn't ask questions. They launched a smear campaign. Why? Because he had already become a problem for them. Too popular, too unfiltered, and way too willing to call out their hypocrisy.
Rogan telling his 13 million Instagram followers that he was treated with several drugs, and he included ivermectin on the list, a drug used for livestock. The FDA and the CDC warn against using to treat COVID.
That's how far gone the conversation was. It wasn't about what worked. It was about who said it. If someone the media approved of had taken ivermectin, they'd have called it bold, cutting-edge treatment. But because it was Joe Rogan, suddenly it became horse paste. That's not science. That's not journalism. That's propaganda with a press badge.
And I'll get one shot of the vaccine.
No.
Why not?
Because I have better immunity than I would if I was vaccinated. Right?
Yes.
Don't I?
I think your immunity is really good.
And just when you think the interview couldn't get more uncomfortable, Sanjay Gupta tried to steer it back toward the vaccine, probably hoping for safer ground. He told Rogan that he should still get vaccinated, even after recovering from COVID, claiming it would give him robust immunity on top of what he already had. But Rogan wasn't buying it. He fired back instantly. Why would I get a shot when I already have better immunity than what the vaccine gives me? And that's when things really got awkward. Because Gupta didn't have a real answer. He couldn't challenge the science behind natural immunity, not without contradicting his own medical credibility. So he just sat there, stuck between the CDC's talking points and Rogan's logic.
If I've already gotten through COVID and I was really only sick for a day, and then 5 days later I was negative, and I do have the natural antibodies now, why would I take a chance in getting vaccinated on top of that?
This wasn't just a personal disagreement, it exposed the bigger issue. Public health officials and media outlets had spent months pushing a one-size-fits-all message. But when faced with someone who actually had COVID, recovered, and followed medical advice outside the approved script, they didn't know what to say. Instead of acknowledging the nuance, they doubled down on the narrative. And that's exactly why so many people stopped listening.
The world's first antiviral COVID pill has been approved in the United Kingdom. Drug maker Merck says its pill reduces COVID-19 symptoms and speeds up recovery.
While Rogan was smeared for taking a legitimate prescription, the media rushed to promote Merck's new COVID pill without hesitation, and suddenly, it was all praise, all airtime, no questions asked. Ivermectin, despite decades of safe human use, was dismissed the moment it didn't serve the narrative. Even the large Egyptian study got buried. The second questions were raised, not debated, not explored, just tossed out. The message was clear. If Big Pharma profits from it, it's science. If it challenges the script, it's misinformation. That's not reporting. That's advertising disguised as journalism. And the media didn't even try to hide it.
The director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, in an Indian TV news network, in which she said that Trump was good friends with a world leader. We said that world leader was Vladimir Putin, but the full interview shows that Gabbard was referring to Trump and Indian Prime Minister Modi.
And just to prove this isn't a CNN-only problem, MSNBC recently aired a segment claiming Tulsi Gabbard said Trump was good friends with Putin. But the full clip showed she was actually talking about India's Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. They ran with the smear first, then quietly issued 2 corrections after the fact. Same playbook. Push the narrative, fix the facts later, if at all. Rogan's takedown of CNN wasn't a one-off. It exposed exactly how deep this media pattern runs.
Pause. It's enough.
Prednisone.
That's enough, Jamie.
I don't think Aaron had glee.
Oh, well, it's more Brian Stelter was the gleeful one. But the point is, that's a lie.
It can be used for humans. I get it. I totally.
Not just could be used for humans, is often used for humans along with all the other drugs I took. all human drugs.
Yes.
They know it's a human drug.
It's right. But
and they lied.
The thing
it's defamatory.
It is yeah, they shouldn't have done that.
It's defamatory, right?
Rogan's podcast didn't just expose a lie, it exposed the media's weakness. While networks pushed scripted narratives, he asked real questions and got real answers. That's why more people trust voices like his, and why outlets like CNN keep losing ground. They thought no one would challenge them. Rogan did, and millions backed him. Even CNN insiders couldn't defend the lie. Contributor Mary Catherine Ham openly called the network's ivermectin coverage dishonest, saying they didn't just report the facts. They chose mockery over accuracy. She admitted CNN could have simply said it wasn't FDA recommended, but instead went for the cheap horse dewormer spin. That wasn't journalism, that was a hit piece. When your own team starts calling you out, it's not a mistake anymore. It's a pattern, and Rogan just happened to be the one who finally made them answer for it. So, here's the question. If they'll lie about medicine, what else are they lying about? And how long have we been buying it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe because the truth deserves a louder voice.